Hey everyone, it's Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner in business, welcoming you back to episode 111. Woo! I love that number of the Journeypreneur Podcast. This is your source for channeled holistic stress management techniques, guidance, inspiration, and motivation to stay on your path to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. And I am so excited I get to introduce you to my goddess friend of years, Lisa Marie Grantham. Welcome to the podcast, goddess.
Thank you so much, my love. I'm so happy to be here in this space with you. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. And you can find Lisa, everyone, at goddesslifestyleplan.com. So Lisa, this may be the very first time someone is meeting you or hearing about you. And so I love to lead with this question of not just what do you do, but what are the three things that you are known for? Could you tell us?
Absolutely. Well, I guess my title is a success and business coach for magical women. I am very attracted to the woo, but not just the super woo. I really, really love working with woo women that are ambitious, because that's me. And I think that sometimes that's a little bit of a sub niche because, woo could be really floaty and maybe even in a little bit of a journey of discovering. I'm one of those people that from a child, I was like interested in metaphysics. I was interested in crystals, nature, gemstones, all the magical things. And I've been ambitious my whole adult life. I've always wanted to grow, be more healed, more powerful, more wise, more all the things. And that's who I love working with. So when I say magical women, if you're holistic minded, if you love nature, animals, crystals, and all sorts of holistic modalities, I'm your girl. You're my peeps. So the things I'm known for is helping women design what I call a goddess lifestyle. And a goddess lifestyle is basically just a lifestyle that gratifies your needs, passions, desires, and your purpose in life. What does that look like? What do you want to create? What do you want to call in? I help magical women create a lifestyle by design. Mm-hmm. And then because I built my own business online, and I am a strategist and someone who I'm a Virgo. I'm a very Virgo. So yeah. I just love procedures and systems, and this is how it's done. And I'm creative and helping women put together a very unique brand, utilizing all their different certifications, their brilliance, their skills, their talents, and rolling it into this gorgeous online brand. Oh, I love it so much. So that's what I do.
I love it. Oh my goddess, that is so juicy and fabulous. And by the way, thank you for supporting our sisters rising into a goddess lifestyle. Thank you for supporting our sisters who are magical women with ambition. You don't just have to be floating and ungrounded in order to be magical. You can be wealthy and fabulously spiritual and as woo as you like. I'm just so proud of you, and I celebrate you in this moment.
Oh, thank you so much. And amen to everything you said. Yes, I believe it. Women, it is time for us to take our place on our thrones, on that soapbox. We got to get out there, get our messages out there. The world needs us. The world needs the magic.
Mm-hmm. Now more than ever, 100%. So I'm curious, what was the moment that you decided, all right, this is my path, this is my business, I'm going all in to be like this wonderful business strategist and like goddess lifestyle coach for magical women? Like, did something happen? Did you have an epiphany? Tell us the story.
Let me just make sure, can you still hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay. My little pluggy fell out and I was like, uh-oh. The moment, well, is it when I first began my business years ago? Is that what you're asking me about back then? Or when I really decided to turn up the volume on what I do? Was it the turning up the volume?
Yes.
It's an interesting thing. We have desires in our heart, but yet all the nonsense between our ears stops us from really going for it. And for me, I think that the turning point for me, and I'm just going to be really transparent about it because, I really believe there's a teaching moment in it. up until 4 years ago when I was left, by my ex-husband, my business was a hobby that I loved. I did not have to pay bills with it. I did not have to put food on the table with it. I basically utilized the revenue that I created in my business to travel the world, take my kids on great vacations, buy my kids shit they didn't need, quite honestly, and do all the things that were frivolous. And it really fed into my brand, like the Goddess Lifestyle Plan. But the thing is that when I found myself, my business had to support me.
Yes.
It was like, I either have to close my business and get a job, J-O-B, or I gotta make this shit work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment for me. I was like, I really went inward, and I said, do I believe in myself? That was a whole process for me. Do I believe I can support myself with my business?
Mm.
And that was a limiting belief I had for quite a while, honestly, because I'd never supported myself with this business I had created. It, of course, provided me all these wonderful things, but there's something about that I knew, because I work in the magical realms, in the energetic realms. I know that when you're leaving things kind of free flowing, you're not nervous about it. It's almost like turning the faucet open, and then abundance can flow to you. The minute I was like, oh my God, I got this to pay and that to pay, it's like it turns that faucet and constricts the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so afraid of, can I make this work? Can I make this work? I got to pay for all these things, that I was almost blocking, or not almost, I was blocking my own abundance and success in the business, because I was so busy being worried about it supporting me. So I finally really got clear on what I was doing, the self-sabotage, right? That whole, subconscious self-sabotage. And then I just said, no, I can support myself with this business. I can help women around the globe. I can make this work. And that's when I call it almost like I tapped back into my inner magic, because life has a way of disconnecting us from our inner magic. We can have things happen to us. People pull the rug out from underneath us. We get an ego blow, and we start to second guess our power, our personal power, our abilities. And I just said, hell no, my new belief is that I can make this work. Yes. And that's when I just went full forward ahead. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I love it. Yeah. Like, this is so powerful, because to witness a woman juiced up, and on the other side of that transition, is so life-giving for those of us who are in the thick of it, where maybe someone's listening in. I'm just becoming aware of the energy of those who are listening in to our conversation. Maybe they're at the point where they're thinking, where did my magic go?
Yes.
Yes. And to get to witness you, right, and you hearing your story, Lisa, it's so empowering, because that it's restoring the faith. This type of faith, this positive belief, this self-confidence, this positive expectation on it's going to work out, is fed by those who tell their stories. Have you ever had that point where you felt like your magic was gone, or like at an all-time low, like in your business? I'm curious.
For me, absolutely. I didn't, there have been times, listen, this is just real life. I've quit my online business about 10,000 times in the last 9 years.
Yes.
I've quit it. And the funny thing is that I met my wonderful, wonderful husband, Shannon. And I started quitting, when I met him, I was in that whole transition from one website to the next. Everything was going wrong, as it does sometimes. Yeah. And I was just like, I quit this business. And he was like, oh, no, you can't quit this business. You got to keep going. You got this, babe. And I'm like, no, I quit all the time. Just let me quit. So now he knows when I say, that's it, I'm quitting this job, and I'm going to just work the sales at Chico's. For some reason, I don't even wear Chico's clothes, but I said, I'm going to go work at Chico's. And so he's like, I'll be like, I'm quitting. Like, he'll say, babe, I'm up and in the house instead of like at my desk. And I'm like, no, I quit my business. And he says, okay. He goes, you're having a rough day. So he lets me have my half a day to sulk. the next morning I'm back. You know what I mean? That's my MO. But I have absolutely many times quit my business because sometimes things, despite all the effort, despite all the planning, it doesn't go like you thought it might.
Yeah.
Even with positive expectation. And sometimes just, I know everybody's experienced it. It just feels like the shit is pouring down on your head. And it's like, can one more thing go wrong? Oh my God, really? And then it's just, you need some space from the business. So I allow myself a day, just the rest of that day, I just unplug. Even if I have my private clients, I have a really great relationship with my private clients. I'll say, listen, would it be a horrible inconvenience? Or them, they can call me, I reschedule. I'm not one of those coaches, like if you can't make your session, that's it. So, if things happen, and I really feel like I want to hold space in a way that's powerful. And if I feel like the world's falling down on my shoulders and my business is imploding for whatever the reason, I sometimes just need to unplug. And that's my secret. Just unplug just a little, take some deep breaths, get out in nature for sure. Even if it's freezing where you are, put on your jacket, go get freezing cold, be out in nature, and then take some deep breaths and go back. Some healthy space is always wonderful.
100%. And this is also very empowering to know, because what you're talking about is being in business in the feminine. The feminine is not going to push through. If the shit's raining down on your head, it's like, all right, this is a shit raining down day. Like, I'm going to take a whole day to just allow the processing, because we know as magical beings, right, as conscious entrepreneurs, those who are on that path of ascension, we know that things aren't working for a reason. Like, we got to give space for the healing and transformation to happen, right? We got to allow that space. And I know for me personally, there's been so many times where I'm coming more from my masculine in the energy of like, I'm not going to give extra spaces. I just need to finish the thing. I just need to keep doing the things how I've been doing them before. And I'm just going to keep doing, like, I resist the change. And one time out of the month where I am so not at this, when I'm in my cycle, it's like my body's like, and this is happening whether you want to or not, so just allow it.
Yes. So true. And you brought up a really great point, Victoria, because there is a time for pushing through. I'm talking about in online business when things are totally out of your control, that you there is no way to fix it. Because when we're trying to push through a project, because that's one of my self-sabotages, I'm a visionary. So I'm great at starting, and I'm great at doing all the easy things that I love doing. But the finishing and launching, I really need it. And that's another, I hire a team that keeps me accountable. I need to have that, because they're like, where is this? That was supposed to be due. I'm like, because, I avoid certain things. We all do. So, you want that is very important, that we push ourselves through those moments. But I'm talking when stuff out of your control is just one thing after the next, just take a breather. And you know what? The healthy space is good, but time is a wonderful fixer of things. Like, just give it a little time for all the balls to land where they're going to land. Then go and do damage control. Trying to do damage control while it's happening, it can feel like, oh my God, so just flow with it. Flow with what's happening, because everything is cyclical. Everything is cyclical, and I have to remind myself. So basically, when the shit's hitting the fan everywhere, out of my control, I can't fix it. I allow it to just be. This is apparently happening for a reason, like you said, and just allow the cycle to go through. So it's almost like a winter, like everything's barren and horrible and things don't feel good. Spring comes again. So the next morning, everything's fresh. All right, let's see what we got. Let's go back in. Let's see. And also staying really open is very important, which is also in the feminine, staying open to receive guidance, because when we're pinched up and constricted, like I spoke about before, we actually cut ourselves off from divine intelligence.
It's so true. And in that vein of staying open and being able to receive guidance and just that's an essence of wisdom, like remaining open, right? And relaxing into that openness. And I'm curious, like I think it was right before we hit record on the podcast, you were talking about how you had so many certifications and all the different
Yes.
things, but somehow you were open enough to allow them to distill into the one. Could you tell us more about that? I really wanted people to hear this.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. Well, I've been thinking a lot about it because, everybody in business knows, like, what's your unique selling what's your USP? What's your purple cow? What's your, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you you?
Mm-hmm.
Something that's always been me is I'm a creator. I love creating something from nothing. That is me. Like right now, we live on a palm tree farm and we live in a tropical environment. I am making plants from plants. I can't help myself. It's like I have we have a nursery here and I spend my days making cuttings, using rooting hormone and making plants from plants because I love bringing people little plants to plant in their yard, and I just love making something from nothing. Like I have chickens. I want to breed chickens now. It's like I love making more of creating from nothing. Yeah. And I have an interior design background. I have holistic certifications out the yin yang from all the things I love. I always followed my bliss. So then it came time to what do I do? And how can I utilize all of me into this brand? So the creation process and I have a methodology I use that I created and I'm able to take all these different things that women do and put them into an umbrella of a brand that actually makes sense. So that's my brilliance. There's strategy involved, of course, but there's a creative process to it. And I'm really a very creative person. That's how it kind of flows through me, the creativity.
I love it. I love it. And this is brilliant. This is one of those things that can really stop a person dead on their journey in business is not, my guys just said forming an identity.
Yeah.
And this powerful work that you do helps to really solidify their unique identity in a way that is authentic to them, where you're not cutting off any of yourself. Because if you're really in a purpose-driven business or a mission-driven business, your whole identity has got to be in it, or else, well, I'll put it on me. If my whole identity isn't in this, I'm going to get bored. And I'm going to go create something else, just by naturally. I can't say that I am my business. Of course, I have a life outside of it. But if I have to cut off pieces of myself in order to be present and show up, that does harm to me. It's a detriment. And so what I love about what you're sharing about what you've done and what you do is that it brings all of the goodness. Nothing that you've been through will be wasted.
Nothing. Yeah. And what you've learned, because, in some way, in the divine's plan for you, those passions or learning that you have can be utilized in order to help your ideal client. So making sense of it, though, that's what happens most of the time. When a woman gets into conversation with me, they're like, Lisa, help me. I do Reiki. I have a certified crystal healing business. I have this, and I love to make jewelry. How do I make this? I don't know how to put it together. Well, I'm your gal. So any magical woman that has all these things, I'm your gal, because I'm able to see utilizing the methodology. Also, my instinct and intuition around it is really good. How can we make this a really unique brand that is totally you, totally and uniquely you?
I love it. Oh my God, this is fabulous. And so with all of that being said, knowing your brilliance, I know someone's going to be listening and be like, oh my God, she's my woman. I've been waiting. Where are we going to celebrate you, Lisa? This is my favorite question to ask all of my guests. So where do we get to go to celebrate you, connect, support, promote? There may be someone listening in who has a whole gaggle of goddesses who need to come your way.
Yes. You can find me at goddesslifestyleplan.com on the web. Also, my name, very simple, lisamarieGrantham.com. That's where it's more business coaching focused. So you can find me at those two places. And I'm all over social media. I'm pretty much on every platform, just under Lisa Marie Grantham.
I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my goodness. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart just for sharing your wisdom so brilliantly and your light to
Oh,
inspire us.
thank you
You.
so much. Oh, thank you so much. I'm receiving that. Thank you.
Mwah. Oh, I'm so happy that you came on the podcast. So I'm going to turn it back to our listeners now. If this is your first podcast episode, hello, welcome to the Journeypreneur Podcast. Make sure that you hit subscribe on iTunes. And while you're at it, if you please give us a 5-star review, because in the comments section there, this is episode 111. I would love for you to leave what was the greatest gift that you received from hearing Lisa's story today. Like, what was your one big takeaway? I love reading through everyone's comments as they're sharing them and leaving their 5-star reviews. And by the way, if you're listening in and you have, thank you for your support. That helps me reach more people out there who need this inspiration and support on their journey. And with that being said, we're going to bring this podcast episode to a close. I'm going to say the same thing that I say every time. Remember to please enjoy the journey. Do not lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Bye for now.